here it is.
Hey guys, this is WTii, and this is a 1 versus 1 between CheckPooh and Ka Xou. Sounds like some sort of comedy duo, but these two are actually facing up against each other, so I think they've had a bit of a falling out. This is the map Turtle Rock, and we got CheckPooh playing as Orc, and I'm gonna guess he's gonna go Blade Master from that. Is there gonna be a barracks, and then we'll switch over to our friend Ka Xou in a moment. What's it going to be? It's a barracks. It is! Okay, so we've got our undead friend over here, Ka Xou. This is what I'm going to call him. I'm probably sure I'm calling it wrong, but whatever. I'm sure you get the point. Now, Graveyard, Crypt, and Altar of Darkness leads me to believe that he might be going Fiends. Otherwise, he really wants that wood just that little bit quicker because of the ghouls being there. But yeah, I could assume Fiends. So of course this is a 1 versus 1. I don't often commentate these, but I'm going to try to start commentating these a little bit more in the future. And as I do so, I should get a bit more experienced with the way it works in 1 versus 1, so that I can commentate them a little bit better and smoother and easier. Because at the moment, I can't necessarily tell right now what it is the players are going to do, but after enough views of replays, it's going to become a little bit more obvious for me to predict the game and where they're going to go with it, which is a big part of the high-level Warcraft 3 game, is essentially knowing where your opponent is at all times, despite not having map hack. Now, that's a strange concept for many people, because all of you are Russian and you do map hack. But for those that aren't, you actually have to sort of think in your head, right, okay, I've just seen him there. That means I've seen him creep this spot. That means almost definitely he's going to creep this spot, or he's going to be aggressive. That kind of thing. So where is he going to lead to next? Where is the next point that my enemy is going to go to? So Grunt and Blade Master coming out at the same time. This is how you do it as Orc. I wouldn't know, because I don't really play Orc and Blade Master and Grunt, but this is how I would do it. I would watch this replay again and I would check his build. But he's ignoring this creep camp over here. He's not moving down to this creep camp here. He's actually moving straight to the left, so he assumes that his opponent is going to be creep camping over here, or he's just doing some offensive creep camping. I don't think he knows. He hasn't actually... Oh no. He hasn't scattered yet. He's sending the Grunt to scout, and he's taking the Blade Master, sold his TP, bought a Circlet of Nobility, and he's going to see what item he gets from the Ogre Magi. At the very least, he'll get that permanent Sentry Ward that can give vision for the rest of the game. What's it going to be? Oh, Ring of Protection 3. Not the ideal item for a Blade Master, but certainly not too bad to get at the very start of the game. He can always sell that, or just hold on to it, get himself a healing salve, get himself back into the game. The Grunt's just going to keep an eye on the Ka Xou undead player, who is not teching yet. We'll keep an eye on him. At the moment, what's his resources looking right? He hasn't started his tech, and he's going to be a long way from it, so he's going to stick with Fiends for the time being. He's going to do any damage he can do to this Grunt, whilst he's trying to keep control of this creep spot, which is nice. Just got himself Gauntlets of Ogre Strength. That's a pretty nice item for Death Knight, although he's probably one of the strength heroes that benefits the least from it, but it's still up his street being a strength hero nonetheless. Blade Master now absorbing that healing salve, a little bit on the Grunt there as well. Going on another Grunt, making the most of that. Boots of agility, slippers of agility, that's very nice to see. This is a nice move here from Ka Xou. He pulled back that creep camp over here, at least the main one that counts, the Ogre, trapped it and killed it, guaranteeing the item and basically ignoring the rest of the creeps, because right now he doesn't have to worry about those creeps, because they're only going to give a bit of experience, they're not going to give any items, and he, at this point, clearly seems just interested in picking up items. Picks up the Ring of Protection at +2. If he can go back and creep it without being harassed too hard by the Orc, he will do, but he obviously has to bear in mind that this guy really wants to get in his case. The CheckPooh's waiting for the snipe there, but he doesn't get it because the coil goes down before the Blade Master can use his Windwalk ability on the Ogre, which is a nice touch. Ka Xou is basically well on top of this. He knows what's going on. He knows what Check is trying to do. And he's also trying to do a little bit of blocking here. He's denying the undead from a quick, easy access to his base. He's actually trying to push him to go a little bit further and almost get a kill on that Fiend, or at least force a coil. So this is a really nice block move in here from the Grunts, which they are a bit big and chunky, but they're not always the easiest units to use to block with, because they're actually a little bit slow. But then again, Fiends aren't exactly that fast at the moment. Even with level 1 Unholy Aura, it's not exactly that speedy. This is some beautiful blocking here from the undead as well. Here's some tips. Check this out. I don't think the undead, the Blade Master can even get to those acolytes. That is some really nice blocking. He's actually pretty aggressive here, Check. He's going straight up into the undead base. He's got 2 wind walks left on that Blade Master. He's got a really nice item, the boost of speed, which is going to help him catch up with any fiends that he needs to, even though they're kind of trapped at this point. That grunt is probably going to, if there's a coil, there is a coil to go down, so that grunt's not going to get the kill on the fiend, but he will still get a fiend over here, so he's picked off a couple of fiends. Blade Master's halfway through level 2. Death Knight's also halfway through level 2, so he's still doing well for himself. Certainly not a bad move from Check here. He's doing okay as well, despite that being a highly aggressive move. It actually paid off quite nicely for him right there. The tech is almost done for Ka Xou. Meanwhile, Stronghold has been already finished for our friend Check, and he's getting himself a bestiary, and I assume a Spirit Lodge will follow at some point later on, maybe once he hits tier 3 or coming up to that point. And I can see the bottom right of the screen is spazzing out, and there's not much that I can do about it. In fact, I can block that off for you because I'll probably do that in the rendering process. Blade Master trying to pick off a few extra units here, maybe get a little bit extra experience, because Ka Xou is basically on it. He's assuming that his opponent is going to be creeping this area. He goes there to find out, and he's correct. And that's a good use of Dust of Appearance, because I believe he did reveal the Blade Master. The Blade Master is detected, he knows. And besides, the Blade Master also has this sentry ward, so he can tell whenever Ka Xou is around this area if he doesn't have any units nearby. He does take control of this though. Ka Xou doesn't decide to actually stay around. And there's a Tauren Chieftain. Now, like I say, I don't keep check of many 1 versus 1 games, and this is interesting. This is either a very unique strategy, or it's actually a bog standard thing to do is Orc versus Undead, but I don't think it is. I'm almost always used to the Shadow Hunter coming out and basically doing his thing with the Hex. He loves a bit of Hex. We're actually probably going to see lots of War Stomps, which is really cool because I love War Stomp. I mean, I just love Tauren Chieftain pretty much. She's just an amazing hero. But of course, Ka Xou is pretty much sticking to the standard undead strategy of DK, Fiends, Lich, and probably Slaughterhouse. Yep, Temple of the Damned. Maybe Banshees, Anti-Magic, I don't know. What's he going Temple of the Damned for? We'll find out, I suppose, won't we? Lich, if he was just a little bit slower, might have got caught out, but he doesn't. We can have a look at the Fog of War at the moment, because Xou has a slight idea of where the Orc is, sneaking through the middle. But Check is moving back now. That gives Ka Xou a little bit of time to react. Maybe get himself into a position, pick off a grunt. We'll see how he reacts to this. He's certainly in a fairly good position, but then again, I wouldn't be too eager to try and take on Check's army, especially since he's got the Blade Master there as well as the Tauren Chieftain for the War Stomp. Could essentially give a lot of free kills because of the stun and the DPS value that's going down on those fiends whilst they're just incapacitated. We've got the Temple of the Damned. We can see an obsidian statue, almost definitely always going to be built as undead because it's just too good. You really always want to get an obsidian statue if you're actually playing properly. If you want to be lazy, then just sure, go Mass Fiends or straight to Frostworms. But if you actually want to play like as well as you can do, then you probably do want to get yourself an obsidian statue or two, because they really do carry through. Ah, lovely move here from Check. He's pulling back this creep camp. He's going to guarantee a very nice item and a lot of experience. Oh, even more experience on top of that. Time of experience going to the Tauren Chieftain. Going to build him up a little bit more. Get him to level 3 as well. Kaka's Pipe of Insight. Not the worst item in the world, but still not terrible actually. It could be useful for Orc. I mean, the Tauren Chieftain, more War Stomps for him. Blade Master, more Wind Walks. And of course that little bit of extra mana for the Spirit Walkers that are going to consistently want Disenchant and Spirit Link to be abused. Ooh, it was a Banshee. Curse. That's it. Okay, so I was thinking, Banshee, Anti-Magic, Possession doesn't quite sound right. But of course their first tier ability, which is Curse, basically grants 33% chance for the enemy to miss on the target. So it's actually very powerful. And pretty damn powerful on a Blade Master, as you can imagine. 33% chance for the Blade Master to miss all of his attacks is huge, because he's a huge source of DPS for the Orc. Now this looks like a very scary army here. This looks like Ka Xou's pretty much ready to finish his game. He's up to 50 food, just sitting there capped. Bit unlucky, got a Fiend picked off there on the way, but he's got a good position here. He can block off. There's tight spaces here on Turtle Rock. There's not many open areas, which is probably what Check is looking for. He'd rather have a fight in an open area rather than try to take Ka Xou out whilst he's kind of blocking himself between these trees. He's even got a couple of ghouls here, so he's looking to do some huge damage here, but he has moved in enough that Check's looking ready to try to come in from behind. He's going to leave Ka Xou in an awkward-ish position, but he's still okay. Looks like Check's going straight for the Banshee. He doesn't want that Banshee. He's putting down too many curses, but he does get the curse on the Blade Master, which is then disenchanted afterwards by the Spirit Walker. The Spirit Walker being chased down at the end there. Oh, the goes down. It cannot get back into ethereal form to deny any more physical damage. It does go down regardless. Statues are now being taken down a little bit here. Fiends being ensnared and focused. Frost armor amongst the Fiends, making it harder for the Orc melee units to actually do much damage. But it doesn't look like a great place for Ka Xou. He's still doing damage. He's still taking out grunts from time to time, but he's losing a lot of his critical units. 2 statues have gone down, and now the Lich is in a dangerous position. Are there any more coils? There's not quite yet. It would have been just another second or two. He would have been able to stay in the fight just a little bit longer, but he could not risk it with the Lich that low health and the Death Knight only sitting at 71 mana. You got to move back. You can't take that gamble. He moved, I believe, the TP over to the Lich and decided to TP with the Lich, because if he did TP with the Death Knight, he's going to pretty much lose the Lich anyway. Are we going to see more Banshees? He only really needs the 1, I suppose, over time. And the Blade Master's moving in here, looking for something to pick off, whilst he's got his Tauren Chieftain and Grunts looking around for something to creep potentially. Oh, where's this Blade Master going, eh? Where did he go? Where did he go? He's gone back, deciding to help his buddies creep. Potentially going for this camp over here. He is. I called that. I thought he was too strong at the moment to bother with these weaker creeps, so he's going to try to go for a creep camp that is technically very strong compared to what he has, but if he pulls it back in the manner that you're about to see, ensnares it, traps it, he's actually going to take the minimum amount of damage that he can do whilst dealing maximum damage and getting all of that experience. Perhaps another tome of experience. There is unfortunate item, Ancient Django. Ancient Django with 2 Gs of endurance. It does not stack with endurance aura. Otherwise, that is an amazing passive high level item. I always like to have that one when I don't have a Tauren Chieftain. And Ka Xou is on top of this completely, sending out that skeletal warrior to sort of see what's going on, and he's suspected as such, and he is confirmed in his suspicions that the Blade Master and the rest of those pesky Orc units has pretty much sealed another red creep spot. There aren't many left, only the ones that the natural expansions contain. Although I wouldn't call that a natural expansion, I'll call this a natural expansion. I'll just say the naturals. Call it the naturals, as it were. So the Ka Xou's Lich here absorbing a bit of the damage. Good idea, that's the main guy you want to absorb. Especially any hits from melee, but then again he's chaos anyway. He's going to do shite loads of damage to whatever he attacks. Blade Master has been detected. You can see he's got detected. So Ka Xou's now denied having to try to creep this camp, because he's like, what's the point? Blade Master's going to steal it. He's actually moving in here. Got a good little bit of an advantage here versus the weakened Orc army that's trying to get away. He actually takes this creep camp for himself, but the big item I think went to the Tauren Chieftain from the bigger gargantuan sea turtle, and it's a Scroll of the Beast. It's okay, not a terrible item. I'm not the biggest fan of it though, to be honest. It's good for gold, can be good for your last fight if you're going for an all-out in, if that makes sense. You're going all in, but it's your last one, so it's all out in. Tauren Chieftain trying to get in here, maybe put a wall stomp down, but the Orb of Corruption coming out from the Lich pretty much says no. He's forced to run back a little bit. The Blade Master's doing some scatting on the minimap. You can see that, checking for any expansions. A couple of pesky skeleton warriors, not going to do much. Blade Master hanging around, just chilling out. As you notice, the Pit Lord has been selected as the 3rd hero for the undead. I'm not exactly sure why, apart from I think I know possibly why. It is Howl of Terror. I mean, to me, because I don't often use Pit Lord especially not in 4 versus 4. I don't regard the Pit Lord as an amazing hero, but he is kind of respected in certain circumstances, and against Orc it seems like he's a good pick, because I'm not going to argue with Ka Xou. He looks like a very good player so far, so I think he knows what he's doing. And denying as much damage as possible for the Orc army, specifically the Blade Master with the curses from the Banshees, although unfortunately he doesn't have a Banshee, because he's probably going to get picked off, so that's probably put him off from building the Banshees, but at least he's got the way to sort of deny a little bit of the damage. So we can see 31 to 53. We'll keep an eye on him, and the next time he uses Howl of Terror, we'll see how much damage that does to the Blade Master's damage. If that makes sense. So we've got Blade Master's army here. I keep calling it Blade Master's army, but Check's army basically. He's sitting here, maybe going to buy an item. No boost of speed or anything like that. It's actually got Troll Berserkers coming out here. Basically the answer to the Destroyers for the Orc. But you could always just stick around with the Raiders and Grunts and try your luck with that. That's pretty unlucky. That's the Kodo Beast going down. That gives a little bit of experience, and he didn't want to lose that. It's going to help his Orc army coming out. Howl of Terror goes down. Did it actually go down on Blade Master? No, it doesn't. It goes down on only a couple of units, so it wasn't the best Howl of Terror I've ever seen. And this looks really awful for Ka Xou. He wants to get out of this. CheckPooh's in a really strong position, unless he loses that Torrent Shooter, which is running back very quickly. Got Pit Lord still running around like mad. Ka Xou's not in a great position. He just hasn't got much. I don't know why he's sticking around, to be honest with you. He's in the enemy base. He's got far less. He's trying to pick off some units. I can probably see that, but is it worth losing any more Fiends or potentially a Destroyer or even his Leech? I don't think it is, but he's still sticking around. He's pretty stubborn, to be honest, Ka Xou. He's going to lose a Destroyer now, and now he's deciding to move back. He's pretty much only got a Destroyer left, apart from his heroes. Oh, a couple of... He did actually get like a sneaky grunt kill, but I don't think that was a good fight for him. I don't think he would have wanted to TP out of there, but you've got to realise when a fight is good for you or not. Maybe put down a Coil, a Nova, throw that down, pick off any units you can within like the first 5 seconds, and then get the hell out before you lose anything else. So at least you can sort of justify the use of your teleports. But yeah, that wasn't the best fight for Ka Xou. He probably tried to see what he could do with it, but unfortunately Check is a pretty good player as well as Ka Xou, so he wasn't going to allow much to go down there. Now the Forest Troll Warlord is going to drop Boots of Quel'Thalas, which is one of the last items you're going to basically want as an undead player, unless potentially you actually got the Dark Ranger, but he didn't. At least it's Boots of Agility. Well, I call it Boost of Agility, but yeah, Boost of Quel'Thalas, you can look at it that way. It isn't though. Increases the agility by 6, that would have been much better on the Blade Master, so at least that's an item that isn't going to the Blade Master. Oh, this is actually a nice mixed army here from Check here. We can see he's sitting at the cap, he's on 50 food. They're both sitting at the cap here, deciding not to go over it yet, because neither of them are committed to it actually ending the game at this point, so there's no point going over that cap. Maximise the amount of resources that are coming in, and then spend those resources on items like Potion of Lesser Vulnerability from the shop. That's the best way to do it. They are actually now Check's moving into upkeep at this point, but that's probably because he's going for a fast expansion. He has actually got a tiny Great Hall, so he's going to be able to keep... Oh, that's not a bad item at all for Orc, actually. Just spotted that. I don't know what he did with it, though. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. It is. Line... Oh, my goodness. He's getting a bit lucky with the Tome of Experiences. That Tauren Chieftain is going to be higher than the Blade Master. It is. He's actually a little bit more into level 5 than the Blade Master. So this is like a level 5 Blade Master, level 5 Tauren Chieftain. This is really scary stuff, to be honest. Undead's not doing too bad either himself. Ka Xou, he's got a lot of Destroyers, Fiends. He's got the heroes getting a little bit caught out there. Frost Armor helps to keep the Death Knight alive for that little bit longer. Disenchant going down. Death Knight being... Oh, wow. Tauren Chieftain's actually getting focused down pretty damn heavily. He could do with a Ring of Protection, that's for sure. He's possibly going to go down. Oh my goodness, 4 health. The Fiends have a little bit of a delayed attack there with their Spiderlings going towards their opponent, but jeez, that's a shame for Ka Xou. He's not having a good time. A couple of bad engagements is pretty much putting him slightly behind in this fight at the moment. If he got that Tauren Chieftain down, he would have got a nice bit of experience there. Not to mention, well, it would have knocked him up to level 5, and it would have also forced Check to be in a position where he can't be quite as aggressive without his second hero, considering it's a very powerful second hero, a level 5 Tauren Chieftain. Do not sniff at that, believe me. I love the Tauren Chieftain. Awesome. Lots of Fiends, more statues coming out, potentially more So this is pretty much the bulk of Ka Xou's army. I don't think he's going to change it up for much else. He's kind of denied going Banshees because either he knows that Check's not going to allow him to have it, or he just decided it's a bad idea. But he doesn't seem to want to invest in any more Banshees at this point. That statue's not going to do too well in a moment if Check catches that at the back of his vision maybe. But he's pretty focused on taking down. There's going to go Raider, it's going to go down. Howler Terror, that's a bit better. Blade Master has been affected by it. If I can actually get a click on the Blade Master, although that would help. No, disenchanted pretty early on, so... Or maybe the Blade Master didn't get affected, or he was just slightly out of the range. He's got a very short range. Either way, a lot of these units have got it, so you could disenchant those, but it's always up to whether you want to spend your mana on that disenchant or not, and he doesn't seem to have that option. Tauren Chieftain's getting focused like mad here. He doesn't have like much protection on him, so even though he's a bit of a beast, he goes down quickly. You'd be surprised, actually. As you can see, it's surprising. He goes down quick with a bit of the old undead nuke there. Lich is going to go down shortly, unless another coil. No, there is no more coils. Is he going to be able to... No, he's got the invulnerability on the Lich. Going to keep it alive for a bit longer, it looks like. Ka Xou's going to stay in this fight. He's going to try to finish this off. Maybe pick off the Blade Master. If you've got the Blade Master, that would be pretty much game over. But the Lich is now going to get a little bit more focused now that the invulnerability pot has finished and the Blade Master finishes off the Lich. There's only a few units left for Ka Xou. There's quite a few more units left for Check. And the Blade Master is just running circles around, whilst the rest of his units are basically picking off the undead units with Ensnare and Focus Fire from the Headhunters. This is really nice play watching here. Another Ensnare about to go down, probably saving it for a hero rather than a ghoul. But he's going to actually pull back a little bit here rather than continue to pressure. Just don't forget that he's actually got this expansion here. No peons on it, but it's still up. Whereas at that point, we're basically about to lose the gold mines, and yeah, Ka Xou's got just about enough resources to get a gold mine if he really had to, but I think he's spending it on obsidian statues instead. He's like, at this point, I've got to win the game. He's sending them off. I'm not sure if he's sending them to his army to just be an extra bit of meat in terms of blocking the enemy opponents, so he's stopping Check from getting to his unit so easily by just having the acolytes in the way. I see what he's doing. He pretty much says he has to finish this right now. So he is sending those acolytes for one last attack, just to try and deny Check's expansion as well. So that way they're in a bit of a stalemate situation, and then it comes down to sniping off units. Circlet of Nobility. Rings of Regeneration on the Lich, which is quite nice actually, because the Lich will get focused quite a lot. Has a fair bit of health as well because of the Circlet of Nobility. Helps boost its health up a little bit. So the Rings of Regeneration will give it a little bit more longevity. Death Knight with 0 items at all, and the same with the Pit Lord. So we know that the Lich is the one that gets focused a lot of the time, since he's hogging all of these items, including the Lesser Invulnerability. Check's trying to, Ka Xou's trying to get himself in a nice little position here. Obviously, it's a trapped position, but it does make it harder for Check to actually get us around, if you know what I mean. He can stop and block there, but it's going to be harder for him to actually focus down units with any decent DPS, because they're all blocked in this area. Oh, the statues consistently getting blocked off there. Oh, down goes another Ensnare. Check is on top of this. Both players doing a fantastic job, but level 6 goes to the Blade Master. Check, Ka Xou's on not enough gold at the moment. Blade Master, Check sitting with 417 gold, so he could always put this expansion up again if he had to, but I think he's going to be in a position where he's going to win this fight anyway, because he's got a level 6 Blade Master, level 5 Tauren Chieftain. Oh, this is going to be pretty darn nasty when the War Storm goes down. Blade Storm, oh my goodness, that's a lot of focus. Is there going to be a coil in time? Oh, there was a coil and the invulnerability pot. But as soon as that invulnerability part goes down, Blade Master is probably going to be straight on that Lich. But he's actually going for the Death Knight here, because the Death Knight's got no items to protect himself. And Ka Xou leaves the game, and that is that. Wow. Very, very good game from both players there. I like how Ka Xou was pretty much on top of it as much as he could be for the most part. But he had a couple of bad engagements which pretty much put him behind the game, and then at that point it was pretty much up to CheckPooh to lose the game, because he was in a position where he had it. He's got it under control, just don't lose it, and he didn't. So Ka Xou couldn't really get back after a couple of bad fights at the mid-game point onwards. So yeah, it's a good fight between the two of them. A lot of engagements. I like how they were sort of keeping an eye on each other the whole time through. Check picking up some amazing items from the Ogre Lords. So both the red creep camps that basically also drop time of experience apparently as well, which is lovely for that Tauren chieftain. If he got level 6, that's just well and truly over, especially if we got into a stalemate situation. But yeah, that was a very tough game for Ka Xou. He did all he could do, but Check made sure to do the orc thing and just stay completely in control of that fight, which is led to an amazing game. So brilliant. Okay, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and please subscribe, like, and comment. I'll see you later.